just go to Norway, look outside, breathe in, look at the cop, and say, "Can you deport me now? I don't feel like staying here.
Give me a reason to not stay.
Please. If I punch you, will I get deported or do I go to jail?"
Or both.
Or both. Well, I mean, if
You'll go to jail first, and then you'll get deported.
Oh well, Norwegian Norwegian prisons are not that bad.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my god. That is awful. How can you not know? What are we talking about?
Norwegian prisons.
Norwegian prisons.
Oh.
They're not
Okay,
that
what
bad.
do you want to know?
Why, Tori, you have experience?
Yeah, I've gone to school here.
A41.
Yeah, no.
CJ, the joke is that school and prison looks exactly the same.
Bro.
My friends
Movie.
started watching Girl Air Force as well.
Why?
It's funny because it's fun. We want to see if they used a Swedish Gripen, because that would be fun. That would be funny. That's basically the only thing.
No.
I like military stuff. Excuse me.
That's not a good enough excuse.
Because like they explain like why she speaks Portuguese. She says, "Well, it was in the trainee images and video." It's like, okay, but there, differences, major differences between the Brazilian Gripen and the Swedish Gripen. So I just want to see if they gave her the images and and training manual of the Brazilian Gripen when she's a Swedish Gripen. That would be very funny.
Nah. Oh, seriously, can we just fucking talk about it a second? That fucking like that other airplane anime, the fucking Berserk. Goddamn. Can we talk about the fact that why the fuck did they decide that the main character should be CG, but the background characters are 2D?
Here's my reason. And that's why I said why though. I understand, but why though? Basically, it's them saying, look, the fighters and the airplanes and everything will be CG. The major part of the show using CG. So instead of using horrid characters, CG characters for the main characters only when they are flying, we're gonna use it everywhere. So you get used to it. And I'm like, I understand that, but why though?
Yeah, but that's fine. But why make the side characters 2D?
Because you won't see them that much.
Whose TV is on in the background, by the way?
You're already making a basically full CG anime. Just make everything CG.
No.
Jesus Christ.
I just started watching it and I was like, why? What? Why? Why though? And I was like, oh, they just want us to get used to the characters being CG. Okay, but
I hope they just randomly switch to 2D in some scenes for like no reason.
That would be very funny. Like the only problem I really have with that is the integration between CG and 2D is not that good.
No, really? You think so?
Yeah, I mean they should have put some depth in not in the background, but in the 2D characters, just like they did in Shirobako.
They should have just made it all CG.
So use like not a 2.5, but a 225D, where the just slammed like a sticker in the wall while you have the main characters as CG characters. And I was like, what? Why? I want to see one of the main girls hitting some 2D characters and see how that play out. Oh, that was great. I don't know why they use. I still think the anime the major anime plane should be Spitfire, or like a P-36, an American P-36, or a P-47, P-40, maybe P-40E Mark One. That would be a fun one because everyone is using Japanese planes, and it would be just interesting to see other airplanes. Maybe the Yak one.
No, I don't care about that shit.
Wow. I'm here like, yeah, no, like they only use Japanese flags.
Okay. First of all, I wasn't even intending on watching the show in the first place until you just went and be like, "Wanna watch a shitty anime?" And I'm like, "Fine." All right then, I see how it is.
Look, if I wanted you to see shitty anime, I would ask you to watch Dimension High School. All right, or Virtual Sun. Did you watch Virtual Sun? What Miteru?
No, I didn't. Not yet. I'm planning on it.
That's gonna be rough.
Oh, come on! I knew that the moment they announced that shit, that was gonna be fucking terrible.
I was sweating so much watching that thing.
I hope it's cringe. Are they 2D by the way, or do they use CG?
No, they are majorly CG.
Yeah, okay.
Basically
that was what I was hoping for, because if they were 2D, that was gonna be fucking weird.
Yo, Unity-chan is the best one because she was like, oh, well, people call me Unity-chan because she's playing a game, so she lost in rage quit.
All right, boys. About ready?
I am about as ready as I can ever get.
Vicky, you need a drink or anything?
No, I mean, I would love an AC, but
oh well,
I don't have the money for that.
Okay. Typing.
I'm ready.
All right. Questions over the agenda or straightforward?
No.
Manhwa, webtoons, manhwa, webtoons.
Words.
Manhwa is a Korean manga, and webtoons is its own thing. A webtoon is a webtoon.
Well, isn't like Korean manga on webtoons? Like a lot of them?
No.
No, I didn't understand.
They're webtoons.
Okay, I just didn't understand that right then. Okay.
Yeah. Not because manhwa is like Korean manga. It's manga, but written in Korean. So it's just like manga.
So I thought a lot of Korean manga did end up on webtoons.
No, Korean just webtoons to begin with, but people call it manhwa anyway.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because it's just, I mean, I will go on a rant, so let's not start with digital manga nowadays, all right? Because everything you see in a manga nowadays is all fake. You think all of that is the guy just drawing on his own and, in his desk, being happy. No, he just do the outlines of the characters, and then he doesn't even put the squares in.
A staff does it for him now.
Yeah, no, he just draws it by hand, then scans it, sends to the assistant. The assistant uses a manga, kind of a Photoshop like program just for manga, and fill in everything, all the rest.
Yep,
I was very disappointed. I learned that watching the Chio-chan guy drawing. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, interesting.
I mean, to be fair, with their fucking schedules, they had to do something like that.
Yeah, it is very quick. Like the guy made like 2 pages per day. It was like, holy shit, that.
Yeah, that's like fucking if they were still gonna be like, yeah, nah, you need to fucking pump out a chapter every single week, and you need to stay at least 3 weeks ahead. Fucking people would kill themselves.
Yeah, I was like,
people have killed themselves.
People have killed themselves. Yeah.
That shattered my dreams. I was like, oh, I thought everything was by hand.
I must be a cynical bastard because I love that. It's like the same thing now that I've started like getting properly into edits again, and I look at other people's videos, and I'm like, I love how this guy's trying to show off with his videos, showing off all these really cool animations and transitions he's using, and then most people won't even realize that this is a fucking preset. You don't even have to do anything; you just have to click add.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
All right.
Get started. Counting down. 3, 2, 1, go. and welcome. It's anime episode 41 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. It is the anime of the year cast, much anticipated one of the year, and we're going to finish up with a review over Azumanga Daioh. We have our natural we have Tori's Movie Quest, and then a new special segment we're introducing to the cast, and we hope to bring you each and every episode. I'm your host, JD, of the Red Leaf Retrocast. I'm joined here with my two amazing hosts. Hickey, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. It's just hot like always, but I'll be okay.
Hot like the host that you are?
A little bit hotter.
Oh!
Damn.
That's a hot day in Brazil. Happy summer for you. And we can't forget about our best host, Tori.
You're right, we can't forget about me.
And nobody has. So how's everyone been the last couple weeks?
Oh, kind of just getting over the holiday hangover, and then just fucking trying to get back into a normal routine, and starting to wake up early in the morning again, and realizing that is just hopeless.
Oh, I feel you. My schedule's been topsy-turvy with school starting again for a lot of people, so translations are coming in fast and furious. Got a new bowling ball drilled. I sent it in to the pro shop guy that I was introduced to last week. Got it drilled, picked it up this week, and I did quite well in the two night tournaments that I went to. It paid for itself already.
Oh, cool. I'm living the neat life. I'm not waking up early at all. I've been playing 10 hours of Senran Kagura every day. Don't ask me why. I don't.
Senran Kagura. All right. I know we have a listener that's very invested into all of those games.
Yeah, the new game is coming out. Not the new game, the remake of the first one that counts for the series. It's coming out in 3 days. Yeah.
Oh wow.
The 22nd of January on Steam for and it's very cheap, so I might buy it. I don't know, because I don't have a job anymore. I'll be okay. I'll probably buy it. I don't care.
I'll be okay, I think.
So you guys were I was kind of half in and out of being asleep because my sleep schedule's I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm done with work by 10, and then I take a nap for 4 hours during the day. But you guys were talking about Bandai on YouTube doing something crazy?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, crazy, it depends. Bandai decided to hit everyone with a little bit of a YouTube original of their own. So basically, one of their idol anime, Idolish 7, is currently releasing on YouTube as a YouTube original series. So the
weird.
I don't even think it's the first episode for some reason. I think it's episode 2 of the new season. It's free, and it's literally available to anyone. You can go to Bandai's official channel, and you could watch it for free with subs. It is subtitled. YouTube subs are absolutely horrible, but they are subbed.
Right, because it doesn't work if more than one person is talking on the screen, right?
Yeah, and they're talking faster than the subs update, because it's hard to set the subs properly.
Ugh.
So it doesn't update properly with what they're saying. So basically, it's easier to watch if you have a little bit of a pre-knowledge of Japanese, so that you can at least pick up on somewhat what they're saying and then have it refreshed after. But it's not ideal. Somebody's definitely going to have to do something about the subs if they're going to make that viable. But yeah, no, it's a thing. And then the bad news is that the rest of it is going to be premium, meaning you're going to have to pay to watch it. And to make matters even worse, because this is the Bandai we all know and love, even the fact that even though episode 2 is free and available worldwide, the premium episodes are available in Japan only. And
yeah.
So
that's Bandai.
That is Bandai.
That's Bandai I love to hate.
They're interesting. They make some weird decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
I think so.
I mean, it's just Idolish 7. I don't think many people are going to lose sleep over this. I'm sure there's somebody who's like, that's my favorite Idol show, but
I'm wondering if that's a prelude for more anime to come. Like, imagine if a Gundam series gets on there and it's only available in Japan.
Well, I mean, we were discussing that, right?
Yeah.
Bandai start putting things on YouTube and ditch out streaming, internet streaming. They just stream them, quote unquote, streams themselves using the premium or the partnership button that now YouTube has, something like that. Membership button. And they use that instead of just going out and streaming to streaming sites, so it's more money for them.
Yeah, no, I like it. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like, I would be fucking weird though if all of a sudden YouTube isn't on the goddamn streaming of anime. That would be that would be weird times.
It could be upon us sooner.
YouTube.
Yeah, sooner rather than later.
I was expecting that from Kadokawa, because usually Kadokawa is the one who makes the.
I mean, it's already a thing. It's already a thing. If you're in the US, you can watch anime through Nozomi Entertainment's YouTube channel. So it's already a thing, but
right.
You know,
Toonami has or not Toonami. Funimation on their YouTube site has quite a lot of anime available there.
Yeah.
Well,
but they're more strict on their blocking of certain companies. Nozomi Entertainment, they have most of it is US only, but some of it, I don't know if they just forget to put on restriction but some of it is watchable.
Alrighty. A little housekeeping then, right fast. Our art for the podcast of Red Leaf Retrocast is by Craig from Mason Craig via twitter.com/MaceandCraig, MaceandCraig. Shout out to our Anime November contest winner, Crash. Follow him via Crash Cameo. He was the one that brought us a review of Revolutionary Girl Utena in the previous cast. He also gets shout outs for all the January episodes.
Woo.
And last but not least, we have an ongoing contest right now for a couple Funko Pops that you can enter. And the not getting a lot of entries this time around for this particular contest. I don't know what the difference is between, but I guess the Funko Pops aren't as popular as picking episodes yourselves. But
could it have something to do with the wrestling? I don't know.
Well, it might be the particular pops that are involved, but hey, you can enter via subscribing on the YouTube or just proving that you've subscribed on any of your favorite podcast listening sites, and then a double entry for reviewing us on Stitcher or iTunes. So please enter. Want more entries? Simple as that. We'll ship worldwide, by the way.
Ooh. Worldwide shipping. Everyone get in on this immediately.
Well, maybe the worldwide audience would want that more because apparently they're a certain convenience store exclusive in the US. I'm not sure what the availability is outside of the US. But hey.
Maybe somebody in Finland or Guatemala would be interested.
Right. For those that don't know the joke, apparently we're ranked in those two countries as a podcast, which is quite funny. In the top 100. Well, all right. With that, we'll just play a quick drop and move right into Tori's movie quest. Take it away, Tori, for your movie quest.
All right. So, I'm only going to talk about one movie that I've seen, and that is a movie called Ushiro no Shomendare, or in English, Who's Left Behind. And once again, JD has been so kind to put the summary from Anime Planet in the agenda.
You're welcome.
Thank you, JD.
It was a little preemptive welcome, but go on.
Doesn't matter. Kyoko is a cheerful girl who is growing up in wartime Tokyo. She has 4 elder brothers, doesn't like music lessons, is frightened of her grandmother, and is excited that a baby is on the way. When she grows up, Kyoko says she wants to be a war nurse, so she can tend to her uncle in the armed forces. As a child, she's a little prone to crying, but tries to be more mature when her younger brother is born. However, Kyoko's typical childhood changes when the Americans begin to bomb Japan. Kyoko is sent into the countryside to live with her aunt, and soon she will have to face the reality of war. So yes, once again, we have a movie about World War II. Woo! Fantastic. I
Yeah,
seem
you're
to
on
pick
a
up a lot
little.
of those.
Yeah, you're on a little kick of the World War II anime lately.
Sure I am. I mean, it's an interesting period, and kind of, at least for me, like, I've seen a lot of war documentaries and whatnot, and they're always horrible, but to kind of see, the Japanese take on it, that's a bit interesting. That's not something you get every day, at least I don't. So,
Mhm.
and this one is, unlike, I've already talked about Grave of the Fireflies and Barefoot Gen. Barefoot Gen really went hard on the horror, on like how horrible the nuclear bombing was,
Right.
and Grave of the Fireflies was more about like the horrors of war in general and kind of the firebombing of Japan that went on. And this one does also use the firebombing, but rather most of the movie is actually not about the war itself. The war or the bombing kind of becomes the climax at the end, because for a big part of this movie, this is a pretty much just a slice of life. Like I said, we follow this young girl who and her life. She doesn't like music. She is told that she has to learn music, and then she gets a teacher who's like, "Oh, she can be a natural," in front of her grandmother. But once they're alone, she's like, "Wow, you fucking suck." So kind of just general Japanese society stuff and growing up, and you obviously realize what it's building up towards, and then eventually the bombing happens. But one of the things that makes this movie interesting to me is the fact that where a lot of movies, like for example Barefoot Gen, is very messed up in its depiction of the nuclear bombing, this one is way more subtly fucked up, because this movie definitely likes to portray Japanese patriotism at the time and kind of their mindset during the war. And that means there are times when you get you've probably heard of them, the typical whenever somebody gets drafted into the military, people gathering in the streets going bonsai, bonsai,
Sure.
cheering them on. This is very popular. When Japan learns that they have allied with Germany and Italy and are going to fight America and the US, everyone is like, yeah, we're going to eradicate the US and England.
Got to get rid of those evil Westerners, let me tell you.
Yep. And it's just like, somebody's like, but aren't you afraid that that the war is going to come here? And they're like, no, Japan is the country where God was born. Nothing bad will ever happen here. And I'm like,
Of course.
these guys are brainwashed to hell. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Don't you guys realize the USSR is just like above us?
Yeah, right. So yeah, no, there's some subtly fucked up shit. And, eventually you even get to the point where it's like they have to send their children away because the government is basically telling you, if you have family, or even if you don't, you have to send your children away, because especially your youngest children, like obviously send them away to safety, but it's also kind of like because the people have to support their country in every way possible.
Right.
So in order to be able to both financially and support them and everything, they need to get rid of the burden of having children to feed. So hand them over to somebody else, especially if you have many. Hand them over to somebody else, and then you can easier contribute to your country. So they do a lot of stuff, including giving away their stuff, giving away their toys, stuff they don't use anymore, clocks, whatever, because this is going to get turned into ammunition, weapons, bombs,
Crazy.
all that. And everyone is like, yes, absolutely, we should totally do this. This is for our country, after all. We must do everything we can to protect our country. And then, of course, at the end, everything just comes crashing down, and the US just, shows up and starts bombing them. The shit.
The American way.
The American
Show up
way.
one day and just bomb everywhere. Well, after the Battle of Midway and stuff like that, they just bombed everything.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Anime Planet kind of screenshots here, and the character art is very 70s-esque.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which is kind of odd. Since it's 91.
Yeah.
But but like the show, it looks pretty good. In my opinion, it didn't look bad. It's just kind of a bit outdated art. I'm not who did this. It was Mushi Production. I guess they were stuck in the past.
Yeah, well, it's a big surprise there, right? With our history in the podcast. Was it animated well enough? Was it animated like on par with the 90s?
I'd say so. Like,
Okay.
I don't really have any qualms about it. It looks like it's not heavily animated. Obviously, it's pretty grounded. But that's because again, there's not much to animate. For the most part, you're just kind of following the characters around, especially the little girl, as she is just doing her stuff, playing with friends, taking care of her newborn little brother. Because obviously that's what Japanese parents do. They just feel they're like, fuck it, yeah, let's have the youngest girl take care of her. Him. So it's definitely like a bit of a culture thing. So it's odd in that sense. I'm not going to really go into too much about the name. I think the naming is a bit too obvious, and you kind of get that because one of the first scenes you see is Kayoko, the girl, she is playing with her friends, and they're playing a little girl called Ushiro no Shomendare, or Who's Left Behind, and essentially is one person is sitting down, covering their eyes.
Yeah,
and the other
that's self-awareness. That's self-awareness to the title.
Them and singing the song, and then you're supposed to guess who is behind you, and you can probably guess then why it's called Who's Left Behind,
right?
Based on what's happening. But yeah, so in that sense, it's like it's foreshadowing, obviously. But it becomes kind of obvious because, like, I think the first line, there's also a narrator in this one, which is Kayoko again. And I think one of the first things she says is like,
"Is it Kayoko or Kyoko?"
Here it says Kayoko.
Okay.
I think they call it Kayo-chan.
Okay. Okay.
I don't remember. But yeah, but yeah, in the beginning, she is also the narrator. But the narrator is 50 years in the future because one of the first things she says is, "This was Japan 50 years ago."
Right. Yeah, very Titanic-esque. Even though that came out way later.
Yeah, no, but it is like it's an interesting use because the narrator doesn't really do much. The narrator is almost never in there, anyways. It's kind of just to set the tone for what's going on. So it's like they started off by basically making sure that you understand that this is the tale of somebody who has survived the war, and then here's what happened. This is what my life was like. Because that's essentially the idea here. It's told like somebody telling about their life. It's told like your grandparents telling about their time during the war. Right? That's essentially what it's like. Like, this is what it was like when I grew up. I did this. I was like this. I acted like this. My parents were like this. I had brothers.
Yada, yada. I'm looking at the director for this, and he's Seiji Arihara, and he looks like he does a lot of what we did a topic with Anna Green Gables, the historical theater type shows and movies, and that's what this screams to me.
Yeah, it could have been. It definitely could have been. I think he's definitely influenced by that.
Yeah, but I don't recognize any of these other titles he's done. We got On a Paper Crane, Ame ga Furu, Echan no Senso. These don't ring any bells.
Queens for Lupin the Third. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with him either. This is my first. Hey, he's the storyboard artist for Inspector Gadget.
Oh, well.
Then I know who he is. All right, then.
The most famous. All right. So, recommend or not recommend?
I mean, again, if you want to watch movies about World War II, anime movies about World War II, then yeah, absolutely. I would still recommend movies like, especially Barefoot Gen, more. But that's also because I kind of like the more hard-hitting tale that is.
Okay.
There was a part, because there's a part that's like, it's not long. Let's see how long it is. 1 hour and 30 minutes. It still kind of feels like it drags a little bit. Mostly because, you are following a child, a crybaby of a child at that. And it is kind of like she just can't really handle people very well or criticism. And even though she tries to act strong, she usually ends up crying. And, tries to change that when her little brother is born. But I feel like, because even when you look at the synopsis, it's kind of like she's a bit of a talking about like how she's a crybaby. She's in first grade, she's a crybaby, and she doesn't like music and all of this like that. And then up until her baby brother is born, but her baby brother isn't born until like halfway into the movie, at least.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like that first part is a bit slow.
Okay.
So yeah. But
Alrighty
after
then.
that, it becomes really good.
Fair enough. Okay. Any thoughts, Hickey, or shall we move on?
No. It's just stories on his rig for World War II stuff.
Yeah.
Although he just said to me offline he doesn't care about World War II gadgets, and I was very
I told you I didn't care about planes.
Oh, my heart. Anyway, seems very interesting. I might take a look. I'm very interested in World War II stuff and well, history stuff in general. So I might check out because it seems, I don't know, it seems more attractive than Barefoot Gan or The Grave of the Fireflies.
It seems more palatable, is how I would
absolutely
phrase it. Alrighty.
Absolutely. And then you're going to be weirded out by the fucking bonsai.
Oh boy. Okay.
Bonsai.
We got a lot to go through, so let's move on to our new topic. Go, Astro Boy! Okay. So this is a new segment that we hope to do each cast now. A little brainstorming here, and Hickey and I are going to do what we're going to call the manga manhwa checkout. So this is where we highlight a manga or manhwa, or in this case a webtoon, after reading the first volume or a certain amount of chapters pre-decided. And for those that don't know, a manhwa is a Korean comic or manga. And to my knowledge, you can find some of these for free via the app Webtoons or the site. And then Webtoons, as Hickey, you made clear, they're not necessarily manhwa or even manga. They're their own thing in that same art style, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't need to be the same art style, even. It's just like they aren't made for publication, They're just made to be long strips of comics, and you just upload them online.
Yeah,
also,
they're really neat.
Pro tip, just don't use the website. Don't go and rate it on your PC. Not manhwa. Webtoons are specifically made to be easy to read on your phone, which is why it's like, rather than reading right to left or left to right, it's you read down, it starts up, and then you just scroll down, you go down.
Yeah.
So, trust me, it looks absolutely terrible on your PC, but on your phone, it is a lot easier.
Yeah, I have a smaller tablet, and that's how I read these, and it's very nice to do it. So, our first checkout is over the, it is a manhwa that is produced on Webtoons. This is just one of those cases. It's called Gosu, and it translates to the title The Master. And Hickey, I wanted this to be our first one to highlight in our checkout because the author, Kiwoon Ryu, was just diagnosed with cancer in December, and he started chemotherapy, and so that really halted his production of his webtoon. Yeah, because I just read the most recent one in at the end, like a week or two ago in January, and the chapter ends with he just started chemotherapy, and apparently he's been in the hospital doing the past X amount of chapters just from his hospital bed. So it really caught a lot of readers by surprise. I've been reading Gosu since I was introduced to webtoons via one of our old hosts, Joe Senpai. This one kind of hit me a little bit hard, especially when you're a fan of something. So I figured this would be a good time and a good first one. So
It sucks to say that I'll be the bad cop and I'm gonna slam this shit to the ground.
no, it's
Now that he
okay.
said that,
It's okay. It's pretty shonen, but let
no,
me.
don't worry. I don't have a heart. I don't really care about the author. So like, can
Okay.
we just get moving? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Oh
kidding.
no, no.
It sucks. The guy has cancer. It always sucks. Doesn't matter who it is or where the person is. It's always bad to hear.
Yeah. So I just wanted to highlight.
Hope he recover. He does something you like. So I
Yeah.
wish him the best.
So here's the summary here. Taken from Anime Planet. That's kind of our place now. A young man set forth to avenge his master, a once powerful martial artist who was betrayed by his own men and barely escaped with his life. Armed with his master's supreme martial art techniques, he is ready to bring terror and wreak havoc among the Murim, which is kind of the group of people that betrayed him. So, before he even gets started, he learns that the ones who had betrayed his master are already dead. So what happens now? And that's where our story begins, essentially, is that background. So before I go into a major... We read about the first 10 chapters. You could go longer. But that's all I was interested in starting. Because it is a shonen-based manhwa. What are your thoughts over this, Hickey? Over what you read?
I mean, I've read the 10 chapters. I wanted to read more when I started, but it was very uninteresting. I'm sorry to say that. I thought it was very uninterested. I wasn't interested, and I thought it was very uninteresting, especially the beginning. The synopsis is a little bit wrong, at least to the extent I've read.
Okay, go on.
But that's a misleading synopsis. That's basically the first chapter.
Yeah,
of the manga.
it's the motivation, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's the motivation to the introduction of the actual main character. Let's put it like that. At least as far as I went. Uh, it's a manga about martial arts where they don't say to you the martial art the guy trained. They just say martial arts. And also they don't show that much because the guy doesn't want to show it to anyone. The characters are very uninterested. I wasn't really that invested in learning uh, their personality and story. Of course, there's probably very interesting backstory going behind the characters because of one arc that is that is inside the 10 chapters I've read, which is the rock paper scissors bandit, right?
Right.
At the end of that chapter, when you see the main character, like who he really is, the giant tiger who just wants to destroy everything, I thought that was really interesting. But it's the background story. Usually, it's just a few cases, and the guy goes around solving things by punching his stuff and just that. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit sick of the overpowered main character as well. But that's basically my first impression of the 10 chapter. I was just uninterested in keeping up with it.
So you should read Girls of the Wild instead, then.
What's it called, Tori?
Hey,
Girls of the Wild.
Girls of the Wild.
I think I have it. I think I have it bookmarked. If I'm not mistaken.
It's about a bunch of girls in a high school called Wild's Eye, and they're all well. I mean, it's essentially a harem. It's about this weak, pathetic guy who gets involved into the school with strong girls who really like martial arts and fighting and different styles of fighting, and
well, we might have to.
That's the entire thing that's about.
Yeah.
Essentially,
we might have to do a checkout on that next time then.
Like my criticism over this one is basically the same thing I usually say about My Hero Academia, where they go to a hero school and they don't train martial art. They don't train anything. The same thing here. The guy's already trained, but you don't know what he's trained at. And it never shows like any stances of martial arts or anything like that. It's just him punching something, or not even punching, because sometimes he's so quick you don't know what he did. He just defeated people. right? It doesn't show him actually fighting. And I was
Well,
like, all right, he's a martial artist, but what martial art,
The
right?
martial art of
So
What
martial
martial art?
arts.
I was
The
very
martial art of
curious. I was
martial
very
art.
curious because it's been a while since I had read the beginning chapters, since I know what happens later. But I was in the same boat of criticism as you. The start is very slow. It's not really engaging at all. You just have these characters, and they seemingly don't really do anything. And it's just this guy, this portly little dude who sells who's a delivery boy for a dumpling place. He just kind of runs into random people, and you slowly kind of discover that there's more than meets the eye. But it's a very slow burn at the start, which I wasn't a fan of. The story, I can honestly say, gets much better once the first quote unquote chapter or season, as they call them on webtoons.
Yeah. Webtoons usually go to seasons.
Yeah, it took a whole season for the story to actually get going, which I wasn't a fan of. But halfway through season 1, I can't remember how many chapters it is, about 25, 30. It's about halfway through. You start getting more fights. You start. It has this interesting mechanic where he does eventually learn that there are people still alive of the betrayers, and there are stronger people out there. So it does, and we know he's powerful. We don't know how powerful he is. We don't know what his motivation to hide all of his techniques all the time is. But there's a slow burn to all of that, which, to each his own. It gets more interesting, but I'm in the same boat as you, Hickey, with I didn't really like it at first either. So it's one of the more popular ones on webtoons. So I can say, if you're not into another shonen type martial arts fighting story, then this wouldn't be for you. But if you can get through that slow burn, then it might be worth sticking with it.
And if you want a really good one, you should read Tower of God.
We might do that. We might do that someday on a, we might save that for a future episode, a special episode, because that's a really good one.
Ooh, special episodes.
Yeah.
I think Tower of God is the second most popular webtoon after Noblesse.
Yeah, Noblesse, the weird, sexy vampire one, or whatever it is.
It sure is sexy vampires.
Well, okay. If you have any manga, manhwa, or webtoons you want to recommend to us to do a checkout over, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter. Twitter.com, Redleaf Retrocast, Bowling JD, hit up RLR Tori, Mightiest of Hickey, any one of us. We'll mark it down. Okay. Well, now it's time for probably the reason why everyone's here.
I'm not.
Oh, not why?
No,
Okay.
I mean, if you say the main reason, like the main part of the podcast is the reason people are here, you're not lying. So yes.
All right. So I'm going to play. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to play this Devilman drop because it's time for Anime of the Year, and obviously everyone's going to be disagreeing, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Hey. Fuck you.
All right. What, 33 minutes is when that sucker started. Anime of the Year 2018. So we're doing this really different compared to last year. Last year we had a guest anime podcast on, and we all kind of had our votes between each other. We waited till Crunchyroll did their crazy awards, and that was an interesting event that happened.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this year, guys.
Yeah. It's a shame that anime podcast we did it with last year, because they were just kind of starting up, and they were, they had a good show. I liked it. Hit and miss at times, but they don't exist anymore. So
Well,
Such a shame. Anyways, before we begin, each category and the awards and how we came to be, I was curious as to were there any shows from 2018 you guys would like to highlight, something you were disappointed in, something you can't wait for more of, anything like that. So I got a few listed myself. We have Yata from the Reanimator podcast in the Twitch chat right now. He says Crunchyroll nominations this year equals shit show. Yeah, I've noticed that. Did you guys notice that?
It always.
It's always bad, isn't it?
Always is, and it always will be. It's Crunchyroll. It's Crunchyroll Awards, please. You know it's gonna be a shit show every time.
But Crunchyroll doesn't pick the nominations. They just pick the judges that do pick the nominations.
Right.
Make your assumptions. If I say they're shit, if I say the nominations are shit and Crunchyroll Awards is a big pile of shit, so the judges and the people they called for this shit, they are what?
Sorry, Andrew.
Sorry, Andrew. I like you, but sorry.
So yeah, Tori, any shows you would like to highlight from 2018 before we get into our categories and everything?
Sure. The obvious one is obviously Devilman Crybaby.
Mm-hmm.
That was, for me, the best thing that came out all year, and typically it came out in winter, so then we had the entire rest of the year. It finally ended, so starting on a high and ending on a low. So yeah, Devilman Crybaby is definitely one that I really liked, and I'm especially happy that they finally managed to get a good adaptation of Devilman. Because there's sure's been a lot of adaptations of Devilman.
You're not wrong.
Sadly, though, they're usually not very good. And yeah, I don't know, anything else? Gotta give a huge shout out to Asobi Asubase for being easily, at least in my opinion, the best comedy of that year.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely crazy. And despite the fact that it got snubbed both in the Crunchyroll Awards and here, it has the best ED of the season.
True. 100%. That's 100%. The lyrics are just amazing.
Oh yeah.
Done.
And I don't know, last but not least, I gotta give a shout out to Killing Bites for showing us that the one with the sharpest fangs always wins. Because that's what Killing Bites is all about.
Oh no.
I love that show.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love the ending because there's the Monty Python reference always gets me.
Well, Hickey,
Anyway.
how about yourself? You were busy most of 2018 with important life stuff, but from anime, from your anime year, what do you got to say over some shows?
I mean, I don't really have anything to say.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back, I guess Netflix as a whole, because they released a bunch of things and I still have to watch them. But usually they are very good. They did a good job in 2018, and I hope they keep doing a good job in 2019. Although I hate the fact they just release everything, like they wait and release everything at the end of the season. Usually it's not even at the end of the season. They just wait 2 or 3 months after.
Yeah, and then they just kind of drop out of nowhere.
Everything. I don't like it, but regards to Netflix original anime, they did a good job. Also, I guess I would highlight Hanebado because everyone a lot of people liked it by being a dramatic show, and I just watch it as a comedy show, and I was laughing every episode. It
Fair
was
enough.
so funny. Every time something happened, I just laughed until I cried. So yeah, I really enjoyed Hanebado from the wrong reasons.
It's good that you brought up the Netflix, because I was probably gonna forget about it, but there was a lot of Netflix original ONAs that hit that nothing besides Devilman Crybaby, nothing blew me away, but everything was pretty solid. Like Be the Beginning, Ico.
ID Zero, I believe they had.
I didn't watch that one. I just watched Sirius the Jaeger. That was, I mean, a lot of these stories are kind of basic, but they're not horrible.
Well, I mean, it's anime.
But I mean, like,
what are you expecting?
in the case of Sirius the Jaeger, that is like the action animation was cool, but in terms of like an action story, it is probably one of the like least inspired things I've seen in a long time. It's just
Well,
like,
yeah, that's
well,
why.
this
That's why I
guy
thought.
had his family killed, and he is looking for revenge. And I'm like, no way,
Oh,
really?
No way.
it's the Punisher. All right.
Yeah.
It's the new
never
it's the
seen
new
that
season.
before.
It's the new season of Netflix Punisher. All right, I see.
Yeah.
I've never heard that story before, ever.
Yeah, Yata in the chat also agrees. This is serious, was a fun ride, dumb as shit, but he had a lot of fun watching it. Yeah, but yeah, like Be the Beginning and Ico were kind of the standouts. They were the most interesting to me. And then Netflix kind of disappeared for a while, and then everything popped up at once. So yeah, Hickey, that Netflix had a good year. Hopefully 2019 they do some more good stuff. I'm looking forward to Kakaguri Season 2 or XX and Revisions hitting up at some point this year myself.
At some point.
At some point.
Maybe 2020. We don't know. It's Netflix.
Who knows? Well, if they're not out by the end of this year, I will have watched them already. But anyways, some shows I wanna just mention is Kokaku was something I personally really enjoyed. It was weird, different. I liked the story. However, the cop-out ending was a major letdown for me. There were two shows for me that started really well and then just fucking blew it in 2018, and that's Megalobox and Banana Fish. Really disappointed in those two shows. Maybe you can throw in Golden Kamuy Season 2, but that was already going downhill for me from from Season 1.
I think the thing that pisses me off more than anything about Golden Kamuy Season 2 is the fact that it ended, like, I mean, it didn't end, like, on a good place, but
No.
fucking, the final episodes were fucking good, and I hate it. All that shit, and then you end it, and then it's like, you come to the final couple episodes. Wow, this is actually cool. This is what I'm here for. That's it, guys. We're done now. Thanks.
Right.
It only took 50 episodes. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me just eat a bullet from my Magnum 357.
Let me just eat all that food you guys ate throughout the entirety of those two seasons.
Yeah. Nah, just shoot yourself.
Yeah,
That's
true.
gonna save you a lot of time.
I'm gonna skin a deer and I'm gonna hide inside of it.
But I think I think the show that really hit me the hardest was Karakuri Circus. I quite enjoyed the show for a while, especially the start. The first, I want to say 5-6 episodes, if memory serves. I like the more mature story being told. I was talking it up. You know, I feel like I have to apologize to the audience at this point, because I was talking it up as possibly the best shonen in a long time, since Ushio and Tora, since it's made by the same dude, or the creator. And then that midway point, which we hadn't covered, because we didn't do our fall reviews, that's kind of where this comes in. It jumps the shark so hard. I mean, it just starts, I didn't know this going into it, but it's apparently a 46 volume manga. And then you look at the episode count, it's only about 36. So you're going to have to do more than one volume an episode at points. And I didn't realize that before going into it. So it just starts flying through volumes after that halfway point. Like major plot points, no time for character development. You have 2, 3, 4 character deaths an episode with no rhyme or reason to it, but you're supposed to care about them. So I guess from an action standpoint, it's just like bang, bang, bang. Okay, all right, let's Midnight Circus arc. Nah, we're done here. Let's move on. We got other things to do. Character development. No, we get heel turn over here. This person's a bad guy now. This person's good now. Here's a random hospital in this area because reasons. Like everything just goes out of control. I feel like I was watching the show on 4 times speed. Just so wild to keep up with it. It was one of the most major downfalls after I spoke so highly of it. It was it's quite something how much it's just gone downhill.
That's why you shouldn't have expectations on anime. But
This is why I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, like you had
Well,
that weird time skip before they got to the Sahara to
Yeah.
Why the Midnight Circus?
That was when it finally it go, okay, introduced this thing with the Xenopha syndrome, and it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. There's a mature little twist to it, and it just goes, here's backstory, here's the circus, we're fighting. What about all that other stuff in between? What's the main character doing? What's the kid doing? The main character from the start. Forget about him.
He's not important, man.
He's not important anymore. Forget it. Well, anyways, let's get on to. I feel like I had to mention that because it was, major apology to fans of the show. I am reading the manga now, and I go, okay, things are making more sense. I'm 4 volumes in. All right, so the way onto our categories for anime of the year. The way we did this was we hit up. I hit up a lot of the guys from the Anime Radicals. So that's Yata, who's in the chat joining us today, from the Reanimator podcast, Leo and Bcom from the Nerdum and Other Nonsense podcast, guys at the Trash Pandas Watch Anime, Andrew over at Recovery of Anime Junkie. We all pulled together and had our votes for each category. And you could nominate shows like Agretzko or March Comes in Like a Lion Season 2, Castlevania Season 2 if you want. You could also nominate epic shows like One Piece and Dragon Ball Super, but the arcs have to be within 2018. So that's how we did it. Each show got a certain amount of points per category, and then it was allotted to the end for our top 10 at the end. So it's very interesting. What everyone came up with, compiled it, and this is what we got. So just to run through the categories, in case you all were wondering, we have Best Story, Best Art, Best Use of Sound and Music, Best Ending to the Show or its Season Completion, Best Opening or Ending, Best Moment, Best Characters, Most Fun to Watch, Anime We Will Remember the Most from 2018, Most Underrated, which was our favorite category from last year, Most Overrated, Worst Anime, which you get negative points. Luckily, that didn't have to come into play, and then we finish out there. So, who wants to go first and introduce our runner-up and winner for Best Story?
Sure, I can do it.
All right, Tori. Glad for you to take the reins.
All right, so for Best Story, we have a tie for the runner-up, which is Devilman Crybaby and Violet Evergarden. So, arguably 2 of the more popular anime from 2018.
True.
Only come in second. And the number 1, by a landslide, apparently, which...
So to be clear, the landslide means it won by 10 points or more, and if I say close, it was within a point.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that for some reason this is one of those shows that got a lot of points despite not really being at the number 1 spot with a lot of people. Because I can see a lot of people nominating this. And that is A Place Further Than the Universe, which was a good show. I'm not going to hate on it.
It was. The English title is wrong, but it was a good show.
But it is a place further than the universe, Icky.
No, it's a place further than the sky, because they say, look, the Earth is round. People will think maybe the Earth is plain, but let's not talk about that. The Earth is round.
Sky in English.
We want to go in a place that is further to where we can see the sky. So that's why it's a place further than the sky, and they're like, oh, let's go to Antarctica. Where's that? Well, it's
a place further than the universe.
It's after the universe. I was like, okay, sure, yes.
I would have thought Violet Evergarden or Devilman Crybaby was actually going to run away with a lot of categories here, especially, for example, Best Story. But hey, Place Further Than the Universe. I really enjoyed the anime. I didn't watch it until December, of all things.
I watched it airing, and I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I watched it airing as well, and yeah, it is.
Coincidentally enough, all fun. Came from winter.
What I just say?
Yeah, you're right. Alrighty, Hickey, why don't you take best art?
Sure. The best art, we have the runner-up in second place, After the Rain. And in first place, by a landslide, of course, it will be the Kyoto animation, Violet Evergarden.
I mean, that was always going to happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see After the Rain in second place, to be honest.
I can kind of understand it. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, you say
Other-
different, I say outdated shoujo. Look.
Yes, but I mean, if you take a look at like the anime seasons, look at what the shows look like. After the Rain stands out because it looks different from most other stuff that came out that year.
Right.
So it does. That does help it a little bit, but
I can give you that. It looks very OG shoujo, let's put it like that.
Had sharp chins.
Sure did.
But we're talking only character design. Speaking of the rest, I don't think it was.
I liked its use of rain.
Yeah, it had good rain. It had some nice looking backgrounds as well. But it's like, again, it's mostly city shots and whatnot. And again, nothing against city shots. It's not like you can have good. It's not like you can have good city shots. But I don't know. It's like I'm pretty numb to it now because it's like fucking that's like every show. It's like I've seen these buildings so many times now that I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. I thought Devilman Crybaby would have done a lot better considering it's a Yuasa anime, but people love their romance type stuff. I was a big fan of the character art in After the Rain.
Regardless of my opinions, it's very interesting to see that rank up. I never thought that would be nominated in first place. So seeing it was very interesting.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, then I will take best use of sound and music. We have a tie for the runner-up in Devilman Crybaby and My Hero Academia Season 3. How about that? And then,
How about that, indeed?
yeah. And then first place by a landslide. So this was very surprising how many people agree with a lot of like what would be the winner, or at least close to it. And number one was Megalobox. I guess that kind of makes sense, I suppose.
I mean, the Megalobox, regardless of what, like the Megalobox OST, the soundtrack for that show was just, it's so good.
Yeah, it was very addicting. It was the saving grace of the show.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can make an argument for its actual use in the show.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like because of the context of the category. I was like, usage. I don't know.
But again, still, there's no denying that the soundtrack is really good.
Yeah, no, the soundtrack is great.
I don't really remember much of the soundtrack from Devilman Crybaby. I know it had this kind of bass to it.
Oh, dude, it should be nominated just like if you just need to listen and watch the last fight. The music and choreography, how the music synced with everything. Oh.
Yep. It should be nominated just for Devilman no Uta.
Maybe it's just because it came out in winter and can't quite remember that too much. But then Megalobox came out in spring, so who knows? Anyways. Yata
right,
says, did y'all see episode 65 of Boruto? No. No, we did not. It said it has amazing animation, and then Eurocamp OST was amazing as well.
Didn't see Eurocamp. Nobody cares about that show.
Well,
that's actually not true.
Not true, Tori. A lot of people care about
Eurocamp. No spoilers.
Anyways, spoilers. How can I spoil something? Anyways, let's move on to best ending. Best ending to the show or its season completion. And runner-up, and this makes me sad that it's only runner-up.
Ooh.
Devilman Crybaby. Because that ending is fucking amazing.
Pretty epic.
Once again, it lost out to a place further than the universe by a landslide. And I'm seeing a trend there, but like I have to ask.
Okay.
Really?
Really?
Okay, because I mean, it's not a bad ending, but it was very, very cheesy.
Oh, it didn't get you in the
Very
it didn't get you in the
cheesy, yeah.
chesticles?
No,
The testicle? What, JD?
the
What?
chesticles.
The chesticles, Hickey. God, did you not hear me?
Please, JD. This is a family-friendly and Christian podcast. I don't talk about
Yes.
testicles here.
Oh.
Like one thing.
I'm wondering if you could. I'm wondering if you said that with a straight face or not.
I always say everything with a straight face.
Oh, that's right.
Part of the
Face of a
comment.
lawyer.
Like it's part of the comedic effect of saying those kind of things. Although you cannot see me, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I'm very impressed to see a place further than the universe ranked like so many times in first. Because in my opinion, of course, I think I talked about it when we reviewed
You did.
the shows of that. It's like everything is so convenient. So
Things fall into place pretty naturally.
Found the place.
Yeah.
They found the sky and hit the characters in the in the head every single time. It's like, oh, we need to get you the ice continent south there. And it's like, oh, how are you gonna do that? Well, let's get some money. They get money. They can go. Well, actually, they can go because there's this one character who has the key to getting there. And every single time, everything is very convenient. Every step they do is very convenient. It's like, well, how are they gonna, they have a problem. How are they gonna solve this problem? The plot just moves in the most convenient way possible. And that hurt the show a little bit for me. So like seeing it is a good show. Don't get me wrong, but seeing it ranking so higher, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it is. I could relate to that show more than probably the average person, I would say, because I've
Because you do geology stuff.
Well, there was a full episode where they were doing the exact kind of geology work I did in college. But I also, went on journeys alone when I was young. I went to Germany. I had to apply for scholarships and I had to seek it out, and then at some point everything just kind of falls into place. And anytime some sort of conflict would come up to prevent that objective from being met, something else would kind of fall into place to help me along that way. Yeah, it was a little too easy in the show, but hey, if it was too much, if it was like a 25 episode show, maybe they could have added some conflict in between more, but it was not.
I don't even think it needs conflict. Like ultimately, the entire point of it, yeah, sure, it's a bit convenient. The entire point is to just kind of give that message of like, just go up and do something.
Just do something with your life, yeah. Like, take the initiative.
I don't know. So
yeah.
I don't really care that much about that.
The universe.
I don't really care that much about like, oh, like I saw a lot of people, especially when it started airing, they were really pissed off because like, yeah, sure, high school girls going to Antarctica. Like, what the fuck? I'm like,
yeah, that's me.
I understand this.
I'm raising my hand. Yes.
Yeah, I understand the skepticism, but I mean, come on. Like
but it wasn't just the beginning. It was the entire time.
There's more.
That show. I never said, but of course, watching a show more than I did with this one.
But
every 5 minutes, I was like, oh, but of course.
Yeah, but it's got, you have to do that with these kinds of shows. Like otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. Besides, like I want to say, there are way more incredible and unbelievable things happening in anime than a bunch of high school girls going to Antarctica.
All right, let's move on to the next category. Hickey, take it away.
Sure. The next one is best OP and best ED, and such an unfair category because something just messing in this, right, Tori?
Rigged.
Exactly.
For the record, this category didn't count towards the end, by the way.
No one watched that show, man. Only us.
Yeah. I hate you all, except for AK. Yeah. I hate everyone else.
You motherfuckers disgust me. We can get to that later, not right now. Best OP and best ED. In the second place is a tie between My Hero Academia Season 3 Part 1 OP.
I
Or
assume it's the
ED.
opening.
Yeah,
Yes,
JD
yes.
didn't put it.
Yeah, it was the opening.
And just to piss off JD, it was a tie with Legend of the Galactic Heroes Die New Deeks.
Oh, you suck. You pronounced that wrong on purpose.
Of course I did.
I love it. I knew these.
Die New Deeks.
Inoyate is
Nuts.
as the ED specifically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it like a remake of the first CD for the original Legend of the Galactic Heroes? Because that AD is awesome.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Oh, nice. And in first place, by a landslide as well,
Fucking-
Fukoku OP Flashback.
Good stuff. It was catchy. Love it.
It was
Yeah,
catchy, but
it
it's
was
not.
so catchy.
It's not the right one.
No, it's not Asobi Asoma's ED.
Damn it.
I think you two were the only ones that voted for that one.
I know, because we are the only ones who watch this show.
Like I said, I hate
not
you all.
true.
Ricky.
Not true. Not true.
Oh, true.
What? Okay.
Whoever watched it,
Whoever watched it, I
voted
am a beef.
All right. I'm up for best moment, and this was a very close race here. Number 2, the runner-up, is Violet Evergarden, and the two that came up for best moment in that show was the water skipping scene, Violet with the umbrella and whatnot, and then naturally the scene where Violet finally breaks down in the emotional wreck, in which it was built up for like 9 episodes of the 14, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Very well animated. Skilled animations.
Yeah.
Just like the entire show.
And number 1, winning by a single point, is the laptop scene from A Place Further Than the Universe.
I'm surprised it wasn't a landslide.
It was not. It was not.
I mean, it is interesting. This category is probably the most interesting one because it's best moment. And we are not the same person voting. I think so. Although I have my
I don't believe so because this seems. I don't know.
weird, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but let's just not talk about that.
Anyways.
It is interesting because one thing we were talking about, at least me and Tori, is like, well, everyone is different. There's no way we're gonna get a consensus over the best moment. Even
Yeah.
in one anime, you can have different people saying the best moment of the same anime. It's it's very interesting. First of all, to see that people agreed with a best moment, and it was only by 1 point as well.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I found it interesting. You know, when I watched that laptop part, I was I felt it right there, Hickey. Right there.
Right there, the testicles.
Well, you fell in the testicles. I was like, well, I mean, the laptop was frozen for, I don't know, 10 years. And
Yeah, there's no way that sucker would have worked.
Yeah,
The laptop is frozen, and then when it's finally fucking, then all of a sudden, oh, an email just. Yeah, of course. That's how that works.
See, that's my reaction. That was exactly my reaction.
No, I had that reaction too. Don't worry.
But it was very good. Like, not the laptop opening and turning on. Let's just scrap that. But what comes after that? Yes, I can agree.
I don't know. I still think a certain scene from Devilman Crybaby.
Well, I mean, I also believe that a certain scene about a giraffe getting an erection in some shit.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Wakarimasu.
Yata in the chat says, "Fuck walking on a lake." The letters scene that was legit hard to get through.
Whatever you say.
So I actually felt nothing watching Violet Evergarden. That's why my vote didn't really go towards Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, I mean,
too much.
I guess the problem is the characters in Violet Evergarden. So usually I would get surprised by things, but not really emotional or anything, just surprised.
Yeah,
Especially,
I was always waiting
when
for
she
it to happen in
yeah, when she
Evergarden.
broke up, I wasn't expecting that. So I was surprised. Every time I was just surprised. But the characters are not the strong point of Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, I agree with you there. All right, Tori, next category.
Let's see where.
Talking about best characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Best character. There it is. And wow. So I assume it's a tie then for second place comes into it. March comes in like a lion, season 2 for Hinata and Ray and well, same names. Jesus. And number 1
Yeah,
is
I know.
once
Coincidence,
again,
right?
a place further than the universe. Everyone bow down to the best show of all time, apparently. What is this? A place further than the universe award.
Yeah, what do you think is it? It's Crunchyroll Awards?
The award goes to Hinata and Shirase, and you know what? Whatever.
Wow.
Wow, Hickey. Or not Hickey,
Wow.
Tori.
Yeah, wow, Hickey.
Excuse me, just because I was going to say, but of course, no. Like, a place further than the universe. I was going to say that later because there's other things that a place further than the universe is in first place, and we won't agree with that. But one thing interesting about a place further than the universe and the characters is not much the characters, but the Crunchyroll work with the voice actresses. That was very interesting, and I
Oh, I
need to
do
give
remember you
Crunchyroll
talking
credit for
about
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a bunch of advertisement videos, and they released on Twitter where you had the voice actresses going out and say, "Hi, my name is that,
Hmm.
and this is my motivation to keep going forward, and this is my place for the new universe. So please enjoy the show and keep watching it." So if you wanted to share with us what is your place for the new universe, what motivates you to
Right.
keep pushing forward, it'll be very interesting. And that was amazing, because you had that, at least I did. Like, it is very interesting to see the voice actresses or voice actors coming out and having that kind of intimacy talk to you. Usually they go to events and, they have they play some games and things like that, but they don't interact that much with fans. So that was a very personal talk, and it was very, very interesting. It felt like a mixture between the character and the voice actors, which enhances the characteristic of best character of that show.
And before they were just reading off a script.
So I want to make it clear that for the best moment, best characters category, if there was a different, say, moment, but it was the same show, the show got the vote. It wasn't the specific moment that got it.
Okay,
And the same thing with characters.
I'm even more disappointed in the people.
The same thing with characters. If you voted for one character but it was part of the same show, the show got the vote, not the character.
Okay. So
But I found it
alright.
fun. I found it funny that the two shows that won this both had a main character named Hinata.
Very common name.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but still.
I forgot what it means, but that would what the kanji means. It would explain why.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that either. I'm sure it's a flower or something.
It usually is, but it's irrelevant. On to the next one.
On to the next one. Most fun to watch. In second place, Asobi Sobase. So here it is. That placed a second place. And in first place, by very close, My Hero Academia Season 3.
Yeah, I mean shonen. And this turned out to be the shonen and comedy category, which was interesting when I saw all the votes come in.
I believe I put Hanebado in that.
Oh, icky.
Hickey being the different one over here.
Yo, that was fun to watch. I don't know what you're talking about.
my One Piece Whole Cake Island arc didn't get many votes.
I wonder why.
I feel you. It's very hard to watch episode 586 to 675.
500? That sounds low, man.
For One Piece, well, it's not Detective
right.
Conan. Detective Conan, I think, is I think it's 1,000. No, 1,000 manga chapters now for sure.
Yes, I think
Something
it's
like that.
900 episodes, isn't it? But like One
Yeah.
Piece should be at like 800.
I mean, I can check right fast.
Usually,
We have more people joining in
as we
the
rant about why people have fun the way they have. No.
more
Why
people
can't
join in
people
the
have
chat.
fun the right way? Why can't people agree with me?
I mean, I
don't.
would agree with you. Super Say was great. But let's not talk about
866 episodes right now with One
What
Piece.
we should praise is that people are having fun watching anime.
No.
That's very hard.
No, you're not allowed to have fun.
It's hard to have fun watching something you enjoy. Man, what a world we live in.
Well, you're not
Well,
allowed
it's
to enjoy
anime.
anything. You're not allowed to enjoy anything. You need to have critical analysis of why something is good. You can't just enjoy it.
You have to be super critical and super negative and focus only on the things that bother you.
Yeah.
It's more fun that way.
How else are you going to watch anime?
Yeah, season 3 of My Hero Academia was really fun, despite it, just being another kind of training arc kind of deal. But hey, I quite enjoyed it.
It had some fun moments.
Well, yeah,
it had a very epic
it's
fight.
just
Okay,
a lot
shut
of
up.
people enjoy
No one
it.
cares about you.
Wow. It's. I mean, I'm glad people enjoyed it. I don't particularly enjoy My Hero Academia, but that's me. But it's still, I'm happy that people enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, have the chuckles while they were making the most fun to watch.
Sure.
Remember the best parts of each show they put there.
Did you guys happen to see the? I posted this or retweeted this on Twitter, and I posted it in the chat. Was the there was My Hero Academia had fan art that made it into a 90s show. That was pretty. It was pretty cool.
I've seen that
There's
a lot.
There's an artist that does that with like female characters.
Mm-hmm.
He uses the Yatsura kind of character design. It's very interesting as well. If I found it, I'll send to you, JD.
Yeah, please
I
do.
know
You're
that's
gonna love
like,
it.
it's been a little bit of a like trend recently. I've noticed, like, take modern anime and give it like a retro look, and take retro anime and give it a modern look. I see a lot of fan artists do that now.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look more into those then. Alrighty, moving on. Anime we will remember the most from 2018. Alrighty. So, little fun note here was many votes came in for Darling in the Franxx with a negative connotation next to it.
Yeah, see, I'm glad, and I'm going to be, because I specifically told JD this as well. If Darling in the Franxx gets no votes, not even negative ones, they're fucking lying. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
You guys saw my live reaction to Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Oh my god, that show. Trigger.
just about everybody who submitted put in parentheses like right next to it, unfortunately, or that ending kind of deal, oof, or it was always something like that. It was quite funny. But anyways, that it still didn't get the top 2. The runner-up ended up being Devilman Crybaby, naturally, I think, with what it did.
Naturally, the runner-up, always the runner-up.
Right. Did it not win a single category yet?
Nope.
No, it got like a bunch of second places.
A place in the universe just stole everything.
Wow, it's actually not won anything. Oof.
Yeah, okay. And then, which won that category via a landslide is Violet Evergarden, the Kyoto animation show. Is that really a surprise? I don't think so.
That is actually a surprise. Like, looking at the other categories, I believe that should be the most common one. Devilman Crybaby in second and Violet Evergarden in first, or like vice versa.
Yeah.
But that's the first time that happened. So that is actually a surprise.
It just enforces how basic everyone is.
Basic bitches, as Tori would say.
Hey, don't put words in my mouth.
You're right. I wouldn't. Oh God, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you. Not without consent.
Everyone is happy, and they're happy to be happy.
They're happy.
All right, Tori, let's move this along.
The most underrated top 3.
All right, yeah. For the next 2, I had to put a top 3 because it was just super fun.
So the first one of most underrated in third place is High Score Girl, and you're all wrong because that show was bad. Anyways, in second,
Sorry. Little connotation on that one.
in second, Mitsubishi Colors, which I never watched, so I don't really care.
No, I watched it. It's not underrated. It's just there.
It's just
in the
there.
place
It
that
exists.
should be.
Fantastic. And in first, the correct answer, Lupin the Third Part 5.
This one made me happy. Tori, I will say this. You and I had a lot to do with that first place voting.
I am not even surprised. By the way, speaking of Lupin, quick little shameless plug. In the next coming days, I will put out a video on my YouTube channel on about Lupin.
Very excited for that. All right. Yeah, I didn't watch the other two, to be honest. So
I mean, High School Girl was Netflix as well.
yes,
It sure
It's
was.
on Netflix. And
High School Girl was
Mitsubishi
bad.
Colors is like 3 little kids just going around and playing.
is that on High Dive, or is that Bloom
I
into
think
You?
So. No, I think Mitsubishi
Okay.
Colors is on High Dive. So like it's not underrated. I was surprised to see Mitsubishi Colors. It was like, oh, I thought it was okay, but it's just one of those shows in the middle of the pack. That it's not overrated or underrated. It's just the
Yeah.
way it is, and it's okay at the place it is with not that many people watching. But it doesn't suit everyone's tastes. You know, it's not something I would go out
Right.
and say, look, this show is great. It's underrated. No one is watching it. Everyone should watch this show. Like Kimono Friends.
You gonna watch season 2 there, Hickey?
I'm watching season 2. Yes,
Okay,
of course,
of course. All right.
and it will be on the underrated for 2019 probably.
No, I will make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, Hickey, why don't you tell us what's overrated?
Well, the most overrated of 3 shows was in third place Megalobox, and in second place Steins Gate Zero, and in the first place by a landslide Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I can't really
Hmm.
argue with any of these, to be honest. Maybe Banana Fish could have been on there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'd put Banana Fish either second or at the top. Personally, I am not.
Well,
Whatever.
maybe, yeah. So,
two of the shows I nominated are there, which is Megalobox and Darling in the Franxx.
Actually, what the hell am I saying? The most overrated show should be High Score Girl because fucking it's on there as the most underrated. But if you look at that shit and you go on Reddit and fucking stuff, like you will see everyone loves High Score Girl, and I'm like,
that's why it's underrated, Tori.
Because everyone love it.
No, because 100 people watched it and the 100 people liked it.
Yeah, there you go.
Instead of
Hickey's got the right
Megalobox,
idea.
where 100,000 people watched it and 500,000
Hold on. I'm pretty sure way more than 100 people watched it. Yep.
So,
It has got almost 60,000 members on the Mal. No, this is not underrated. Lupin the Third Part 5 has like 15,000, okay?
that's why it won. Tori, why are you arguing? Gilo UK in the Twitch chat says 7 Deadly Sins was good. Not sure if 2018 though. Well, season 2 was 2018, and it.
Yeah, the OVAs were later 2017.
Yeah, the 4-episode OVA in between thing, which I'm currently watching. So.
Yeah, I dropped season 2 of
Everyone
Seven Deadly Sins.
forgot about 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah.
I didn't forget about it. It's just like when it came back and I was watching it. Like I first watched like 2 episodes that came before, and those were pretty pointless, but whatever. And then I watched the then I started second season, and it's just like that was that moment when I realized like I liked the first season of 7 Deadly Sins, but by the time it was over, I was pretty much done with it. Like I didn't care anymore. And the second season starts up, and I'm like, they started introducing all the shit that happened and characters that quote unquote didn't die and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Typical
you know
shonen
what?
fashion, isn't it?
Yeah, but at that point, I just realized that, you know what? Nah, I can't. I don't care.
I'm pretty sure we saw a body.
Yeah,
Okay,
but then he's
alright.
like, I'm fine.
Fine, yeah, he shows up right at the. Anyways, worst anime you watched of the year. Didn't have to complete it in brackets, and it was very close between this. A single point separated 1 and 2. The runner-up, we had a tie between Conception and Magical Girl Sight. And number 1 is 23 Slaves and Me, aka Doreku.
See, first things first. It's the wrong Magical Girl show on here. It should be Magical Girl. But yeah,
Well, I mean, I think Conception is worse than Magical Girl Side, and I watch it. The main character made lewd things with a magical raccoon. Like,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't really
boy.
know what was going on in that show. It was sincerely bad.
Okay, but like,
Magical Girl Side was bad, but at least was burning.
yeah.
So at
was
least
like
the
a
flames were interesting to watch. The Conception was just garbage.
It was like a universal consensus on like these 3 shows, and then kind of the other nominations were on the fringe of it all. So
Yeah, here's the problem I had with this category. No, it's not the category itself. It's the fact that I had over 15 shows competing for the worst of the year.
Right?
That is awful.
Yeah, the most difficult part of this category is picking number 1.
It's like, oh, they were just all so bad.
Because like what I did when I was choosing is like I would choose the 3rd place first because that sets the bar. But there was so many bad shows. I was like, what do I do? The first place, like, if the 3rd place is worse than the first place, what do I do? So yeah.
Yeah, I basically I just had to limit myself. Yeah, I can't just put I can't only put shows there that I haven't finished because they were absolutely terrible. But there's also shows that I have finished that are absolutely terrible. So I think I'll put 1 or 2 shows that I dropped, and then the rest were shows that I actually finished.
Well, yeah, I mean, my first place was a show I didn't finish because you cannot finish the show.
That is the right frame of mind going into it. Well, okay.
This was like, well.
So just to go through the winners of the categories right fast. Best Story, Place Further Than the Universe. Best Art, Violet Evergarden. Best Use of Sound and Music, Megalobox. Best Ending to the Show or its Season Completion, Place Further Than the Universe. Best Opening or Ending, Kokaku. Best Moment, Place Further Than the Universe. Best Characters,
like
Place Further Than the Universe. Most Fun to Watch, My Hero Academia Season 3. Anime we will remember the most from the year, Violet Evergarden. Most underrated, Lupin the Third Part 5. Most overrated, Darling in the Franxx. Worst anime, 23 Slaves and Me. And just for fun, I actually calculated not the most members, but the most completed and watching, and included dropped. So the most people that have watched the shows from Mal and Anime Planet, respectively, the top 10 of the year. And I'll just go down the list right fast for Mal, and then I guess Hickey, you can do Anime Planet when I'm done. Sure. So number 10 from Mal is Devil May Cry Baby. Number 9, Rascal Bunny Girl Senpai. 8, Goblin Slayer. 7, Tokyo Ghoul RE. 6, Attack on Titan Season 3. 5, 7 Deadly Sins Season 2. So there's your 7 Deadly Sins. Still popular. 4, Overlord. 2, 3, Violet Evergarden. 2, Darling in the Franxx. And 1, My Hero Academia Season 3. So, some shows that didn't win any categories are on there. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's happening there.
Why Overlord 2, though?
Oh, well.
Well, I mean...
a lot of people like it, Tori.
No, I know I like Overlord, but like, Overlord 2?
For the most people, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's the worst one.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Okay.
And just to show you that it might not just be Mal... what do we got? What do we got, Hickey, from over on Anime Planet?
More scrubs in Anime Planet. Number 10, Goblin Slayer. Number 9, Overlord Season 3. Number 8, Death March.
Oh
my god!
For those that don't
Number
remember,
7.
that was our shit watch of the spring season.
Number 7, Tokyo Ghoul RE or Re.
Re.
Number 6, Violet Evergarden. Number 5, Attack on Titan Season 3. Number 4, Seven Deadly Sins Season 2. Number 3, Darling the Franxx. Number 2, Overlord Season 2. And number 1, My Hero Academia Season 3.
There's some
See, this just
correlation.
kind of proves one thing, though. People like to shit on Mal for being shitty and don't know how to like rank shows and
Yeah,
how to
Anime
score shows.
Planet is
I mean,
way
they
worse.
do. But look at this. Look at the Anime Planet. Like Death March, Tokyo Ghoul Re, Overlord Season 2 in second.
It's mostly the same shows, man.
Crybaby.
Overlord Season 2 being higher than Overlord Season 3 in watching, like people watching it, people who completed it, makes sense because you have Season 1, which is great. Season 2 is weak, then people lost interest.
Yeah,
So
but
you
like,
see, like a lot of people watch it Season 2, and then you just have that drop that people got disappointed. And they're like, if that was Season 2, I don't feel like watching Season 3 because Season 3 is basically, it was just a quick pause and then a straight up continuation. No.
yeah, but that's fine. But that doesn't excuse the fact that it's in second.
Well, JD didn't went through scores. He went
I
through
know.
people watching it. So
I know that still doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I didn't go through like average score. Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't do
score,
that.
the thing they calculate at the.
Just did the amount of eyes that were on it. So now,
oh my god, everyone has only one eye. Shit.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Time for the Red Leaf Retrocast Top 10 Anime of the Year. Conglomeration of all the points. I want to say thank you to all the people that are part of the Anime Radicals. Yata from the Reanimator podcast. Trash Pandas Watch Anime. Nerd and Other Nonsense podcast. And Recovery of an Anime Junkie. And including us for all the votes. And after it was all said and done, we have our top 10. And you guys just want to do round robin? We go 10, 9, 8 and keep switching?
Sure.
All right. Tori,
Sure.
give us number 10.
Number 10 is a tie, because of course it is, of Legend of the Galactic Hero, Dainu Thief.
I hate you guys for purposely doing this to me.
JD, come on, that is a terrible English. That's just terrible. No, anyways, and it's tied with Loop on the Third, Part 5.
Made me happy it made the list.
Yeah, but it's still mostly us.
Well, you and me, Tori, we helped. Hickey, number 9.
Euro Camp. There you go.
There
Very
it
cozy show. Very fun to watch.
No, there's no fun allowed.
No
Take it
fun
off.
allowed.
Take it off.
Number 8, Zombieland Saga.
Is the fun allowed now? The fun allowed in Zombieland? Because that was pretty fun.
Yes. I will allow it here.
Alright.
I will allow it here because I like the show. Yeah, that's something that is fun. And number 7 is another very fun show, very funny show, in Asobi Asobase.
You guys happy now?
Number 6.
Made number 7.
No, should have been higher.
Well, I mean,
Should have been higher. That's your
Should have
problem.
been about March comes in like a lion. Should have been over after the rain.
Did you just steal Hickey's announcement?
yes.
Yes, I did.
Number 6. March comes in like a lion season 2, but not only season 2. It's March comes in like a lion season 2 part 2. Because that was in 2018.
Still good. Still one of my favorite shows. Definitely cracks my probably top 50 of anime for me. Number 5, After the Rain, making a. This was really surprising to me how high After the Rain got up on this list. Personally,
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Wonder which podcast combined the votes before voting and boosted it.
I'm with Hickey. I'm still thinking that the other guys that were just all gathering in a room together going, how are we going to cooperate to ruin this?
I can give you a hint. Brains from Trash Panda is very high on After the Rain.
Okay.
Yeah, he loved that show.
You
know who to shank? Oh my god!
That's okay. No, that's fine. It's just a little poll.
Hickey is a lawyer. he can also get away with it.
Yata's wondering how did they figure out the plan? Was it a secret meeting? No, it was a secret meeting.
Did you watch it Pop Team Epic where they had that Bandai thing or Kadokawa meeting?
That was the King Music.
King Records, yes. The King Records.
All right.
meeting.
Corey?
Is it my turn again?
Yeah.
Okay. Since I spoiled everything. Anyways, number 4 is of course, because everyone likes KONE, Violet Evergarden.
Go. I honestly thought it would be higher. I thought it'd be top 2, but
the problem is the other one. I would be okay with third place, but the third place is My Hero Academia season 3.
Woo!
makes me happy.
I bet you does.
Oh well.
Oh come on,
Hey.
Hickey, it's fun.
It is fun,
I mean,
Hickey. Jeez, I had Food Wars season 4 on quite a little couple categories on mine that I prefer
Boy, am I
over.
glad that didn't make it.
Yeah,
You're
well,
the only fucking one.
I'm the only shonen whore apparently that votes for these things. So
Oh, I put some. I think I put some shonen battles in best moment. Come on.
yeah, I also had Castlevania season 2 in some categories as well, but the only one that really voted for that too.
Yeah,
All right.
everyone likes that show.
Number 2 is Devilman Crybaby. Many anime sites number 1 anime of the year actually.
Good.
Not here, not on the Red Leaf Retrocast. It is only number 2. It
The
fails
best
to
it ever managed to do.
It fails to live up to our expectations apparently. But Tori, you know what's number 1. I think we all do at this point.
And what is this? The third time?
Four.
Devilman Cry. The fourth time that Devilman Crybaby is out?
Wait. Let's-
A place further than the universe. Oh man.
It was a
Yeah, it was
landslide
the fourth
victory, by the
time.
way.
Holy shit.
I don't know what
bet
to
it
say.
was.
I don't know what to say. Like again, next time invite me to one of these secret meetings and we'll straighten this shit up. We'll get a proper list.
Very interesting. I guess a place further than the universe resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's very well put, Hickey. So just one more time, number 10 was a tie between Legend of Galactic Heroes, Dino Teza, and Lupin the Third Part 5. 9 Eurocamp, 8 Zombieland Saga, 7 Asobase, 6 March Comes In Like a Lion Season 2 Part 2, 5 After the Rain, 4 Violet Evergarden, 3 My Hero Academia Season 3, 2 Devilman Crybaby, and 1 A Place Further Than the Universe. Is Zombieland Saga the only one that came out after spring? That cracked the top 10?
It was fall. So yes.
Yeah, that's wild.
Damn.
I found that interesting.
Well, I mean, there's a trend, right?
Yeah.
Like the first one is like winter, and then like first to like fourth, and then you have spring. Well, you have March Comes In Like a Lion Season 2 Part 2 in winter.
Yeah.
Asobi Asoba's spring, Zombieland fall, Yuru Camp spring again, or summer.
One of those two.
Yeah.
Lupin and Legend of Galactic Heroes was spring, I believe, as well. So, beginning of the year was strong. End of the year, not so much, it seems. Okay. So that was the Red Leaf Retrocast's Anime of the Year for 2018. Thank you again to all the members of the Anime Radicals that contributed to the voting. Nice of them. Alrighty. I'm going to play a drop, and we can get into our anime for review of Azumanga Daioh. Very exciting. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this one. As I find the drop. Where is it? Can't find it. Oh no. There it is.
Now, it's time we start dealing with the business at hand.
Alrighty. Hickey, do we have a 5-star review to read for the podcast?
Apparently.
Why don't you read it for us?
Let me choose. find it. Here you go. We had a iTunes 5-star review by Mr. Luke Robson. A fun podcast that covers wrestling, gaming, and anime. A 3-in-1 combo for all you guys and girls. Why look anywhere else? Thank you, Mr. Luke Robson. We appreciate your review.
Yeah, thank you. I believe he's from the UK as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, excellent. If you want to leave us a 5-star review, head on over to iTunes and type in Red Leaf Retrocast. You'll find us no problem. And that'll...
If you want to leave us any review at all, it doesn't need to be a 5-star, because we accept the criticism.
Indeed.
And things like that, because we're cool people.
We will read it on the cast. And Stitcher is also acceptable. We'll be getting to those reviews as we go on with more episodes. So hooray! It's a good way to support the podcast. Nice free thing. We want more. We need more. I want to get to 25 by the end of 2019. I hope we can do that. Or at least 25 in the United States. I want to get an average rating in other countries. That's the other one.
Low expectations.
Yeah, very low expectations. We got to get there. Okay. I believe. Yes. It's time for Azumanga Daioh. The cute girl show that a lot of people are very high on. It is from Studio JC staff. Same studio that brought us Food Wars, among others. And its director is Hiroshi Nishikiori, who did storyboard. Yes, Tori. Storyboard on Revolutionary Girl Utada, director of Certain Magical Index, to name a couple. It was released in spring 2002, so it barely cuts our 15-year minimum age requirement. And summary from Anime Planet. So here we go. 10-year-old genius Chio, animal-loving Sakaki, loudmouth Tomo, athletic Kagura, weight-conscious Yomi, and dim-witted Osaka are 6 friends who share laughs, good times, in a high school homeroom. With scary and sometimes perverted teachers, school festivals, penguin suits, and general hilarity abounding, you can be sure that there's never a dull day in the life of one of these students. So yeah.
Ayumu name didn't make to the synopsis.
Yeah, well.
They call her Osaka in the synopsis as well.
Yeah. Alrighty. I had never seen the show going into it. I wasn't sure if you guys had you were on a repeat watch or what have you. It is well regarded in a lot of people's kind of top slice of life shows lists out there. I didn't know what to expect for it. I was thinking Nichijou type thing, but instead I thought immediately upon watching even the first couple episodes, it was as my cat is on the mic table right next to it, he's bugging me. I thought this was an immediate, more chill version of Nichijou. And for those that don't know, Nichijou, as I would describe it, it's a Kyoto Annie high energy school comedy. That's how I put it. And this is an opposite of it. It's much more chill, much more laid back. How about you guys? Are you guys on the same boat as me in this and thinking this?
I mean, yeah, it's not a straight comedy. Like Nichijou is just all about like rapid fire gags, more or less. It's like you know something happens, ha, funny, move on. Whereas Azumanga Daioh was more like the amount of times, like I was almost a bit off-putting at first. The amount of times where Azumanga Daioh will literally just hang out the driest of the dry jokes they can think of, and they just have this character stare with this like blank stare, open mouth into the screen for like 5-10 seconds, and you're like,
Yeah, they did that a lot. That was part of the show's delivery.
Yeah, something that, yeah, and also, you don't have a lot of running gags in Nichijou. You have some. You have the deer and the principal and like some other jokes, but this one they really like to nail those same punchlines with slightly variations from time to time.
Tosan.
All right. this is a very character-driven show. To go with the dry humor, that's the way I looked at it. You had your 6 girl characters, you had the 2 teachers, and then the male teacher. What are your thoughts over all the characters and their kind of tropes associated with them?
The male teacher is just the best. Like, oh,
You liked him.
Of course I liked him. He's weird as fuck, and I watched Azumanga a while ago. So of course I
yeah,
liked
but
him.
the teacher in Azumanga is better because he is not so
Dead inside.
openly perverted was more the way I like characters that are dead inside. But he was just kind of like, I don't know. He kind of pushed that creepy factor a little bit too much.
Yeah, I didn't really like that. I didn't like his character design, always with the jaw open, and then he didn't really ever talk. He just had weird lines that came off as perverted. I mean, I wasn't a fan of him.
Who doesn't like some Sekohara? Come on. No, but seriously, the characters are fine, depending on the combination you have on the screen. Sincerely. Because one thing you have in this show is a bunch of dumb characters. Not only in the sense of they are not very smart, like Kagura and what Tomo her name is. They are like the idiot brigade or something like that. They call themselves the
idiot brigade.
the idiot brigade. But you also have Sakaki. Sakaki, although she's very smart, she has that thing with animals, and it's kind of dumb. Depending to who is on the screen with her, it's a little bit too much. The dumbness of the show is just way too high for you to, go along with the characters.
Nah, Sakaki is the best. You shut your mouth.
Oh, she's not the best. Kagura is the best.
This is definitely one of those shows where you go best girl kind of deal. And we even got people in the chat going, Sakaki is best girl, Tomo's best girl. So
no.
Yeah.
No, Tomo. No. Tomo. I can accept anything but Tomo.
I remember the first introduction to who Tomo was, and she just kind of screams in the middle of class, runs across the room, does weird things. There was a funny joke where I think she was late, and she voluntarily takes the water buckets and stands out in the hallway, and she's freaking out because she can't hold them, and we're just staring at her.
She could hold them. It's just that she was like, "I'm gonna set a new record." I can't. She is. I mean, she is the Genki character, obviously, but it's just
obviously,
like, After a while, it's kind of like she's just like she stopped being Genki, and after a certain point, just started being mean. I'm just like, that's fucking no.
Like as I was saying, the combination of characters you have on screen, it really depends. When you have Osaka and Tomo in the screen, it is very fun because Osaka is very, low energy, and she doesn't fight your things. She just let things happen and doesn't give a shit. So when you have her and Tomo in the screen at the same time, is very fun. Chiyo is always there, so I'm not counting her. But when you have like Tomo and Kagura together with that one teacher, what's her name?
Yukari?
The Yukari, yeah. Like
I love Yukari. To me, she was the best character in the show.
When they aren't on the screen together, they're just everyone is just screaming. Tomo and Kagura trying to compete about something, and they're screaming, and Yukari is just there, and she just naturally screams because that's her character as well.
I like
it gets
Yukari.
A little bit annoying.
I like Yukari a lot.
I know. I also like her. I just say, like, depending on the combination of characters you have, some scenes are good, some scenes are not so good.
But like Yukari, she is like that fucking. She is that like. She is my favorite type of teacher, the one that just does not give a shit.
Yeah.
So I like that, and that's why I think my favorite pairing, like the ones that got me the most, is the like Yukari and Minamo pairing when they're on screen having shit, because just like two very opposite teachers talking shit at each other.
Yeah, and you would think the roles would be reversed, where the teacher that doesn't give a shit is the PE teacher instead of the English teacher.
Yeah.
But Yukari, like, walking in the classroom, and she just goes, it's the day after summer break. and everyone's like has no motivation, including the teacher.
I love her introduction. And the first time she like runs into class, be like, "I'm gonna show up my good side." Fucking shows up energetic as shit. Like, yeah, let's get to it. Let's go. And then it's like, sensei, your class is the one next over. Just like, well, fuck this then. Now I don't care anymore.
Yeah, she walks in the next classroom. She just, instead of being energetic again, she just writes her name on the board. She's like, "This is me. All right, pull out your books. Fuck this." Yeah, I like Yukari.
Once, didn't pay it off for a while. Yeah.
It's a nice day outside. Free study time. And then she goes hangs out with what's her face at the pool.
Yeah. I'm sick of being an English teacher. We're having PE today.
Those were always good moments. So sometimes the show would nail kind of repeating jokes, but I think the way they handled the Yukari character was the best, because they could do the same joke but in different circumstances, because it was more aligned with the character. While we had, and this goes on with what you said, Hickey, where the character combinations either work or they don't a lot of the times in the show, where if you have a character like Osaka, who's very dim-witted and she just kind of stares a lot of the times as part of her dry jokes, because the show is filled with dry jokes. And she's just thinking.
I like that, though. I like her long, like, fucking tangents about nothing. She's just, like, trying to fucking question the meaning of, like, the dumbest shit ever. She's just like, how the and you're just sitting and listening to her. How the fuck did you get into this, and where are we? I don't understand how your brain works.
Yeah, she daydreams a lot, like with Chiyo's pigtails, how they're disposable, and she can, yeah, they can just come off.
She's flying away. I like that. She has moments as well where she is just like, I don't like her because she's too slow, but there are definitely moments like that when she goes on these like long tangents about nothing that like people are trying to be like, yeah, I understand where you're getting at, and then she just fucking changes the subject, and I was like, but then what about this? And it was like, are you okay? Are you mentally challenged? And the answer is yes, she is. Very much so.
I still question how she graduated high school at the end, personally.
Oh, no, that was just...
Same thing with Kagura, because she was even dumber, apparently, by the test scores.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I just assumed that she impressed everyone with her athletic ability, and they were like, yeah, alright.
Yeah, well, she was the tomboy jock. Maybe, if it was like my high school, the teachers passed for her so she could compete the school competitions. Well, alright. So we went over kind of characters and tropes and characters we like and dislike. Did the jokes overstay their welcome at times, or did they hit home? Combination of both? How'd you feel about these?
I mean, at times, yeah. Like I said, not everything was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The perverted teacher was kind of like, whenever he shows up, it's like, what would you like? The cafe scene. What would you like? Pool. What? Pool. The water in the pool. Give me the water in the pool. Like, what? Hey, get out of here. I'm still surprised that nobody just went like, fuck it, you're fired. Although, to be fair, there was still one part of it that I enjoyed, and that was when her wife shows up and it's like, yeah, I'm married. Like, what? Yeah, I got a wife, and she shows up. She's just fucking beautiful and shit. And she's like, huh?
There was a moment in the show where he's like randomly in the class and the picture falls out of his pocket, and the girls ask him like, who's this? And he just says, it's my waifu.
Yep.
I was like, is this the show that started the whole waifu term? Was it? Could be.
No.
I don't think it started it, but I think it definitely did popularize it a lot in anime.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I tried looking it up, but maybe you're right, Tori. Maybe it popularized it.
He gets credited for it a lot. That's all I know.
Yeah, and in Japan, people don't say waifu. They say yome. They straight up call wife. It's my wife.
Okay.
It's not a joke. People marry with 2D characters there. It is not a joke. Just here we use like a joke, saying waifu, but there they use yome. Ore no yome, my wife. Like,
My wife.
sincerely and seriously, which is very creepy, by the way, but that's okay. It's not the point of this podcast right now.
Were there too many references in the jokes steeped in Japanese culture that were too hard to understand? I didn't find. I personally didn't find it hard to understand, but there were jokes splintered within an episode every now and again that just went over my head.
Yeah,
I didn't really find that too often, to be honest. I thought the jokes were pretty self-explanatory for the most part.
Yeah, even the ones that are more complicated. If you watch a little bit of anime, especially there between like 2004, 2006, you get most of the jokes. Especially, for example, Osaka being named Ayumu being named Osaka, and they, joking about you don't look like someone from Osaka at all, because Osaka is known to be a lot of comedians, and she's just like she she's barely breathing.
No,
I
think that's always funny when it's just like, you don't have to force yourself to speak like us, and she's just speaking normal. It's like, what? That's
That doesn't sound like Osaka at all.
yeah, no, but it's just like, you don't have to hide your accent. Just, I'm not hiding my accent. That's just how it's pronounced.
Right. Yeah, just because you're from a location doesn't mean you're gonna exactly sound like it.
Yeah, I mean, she does exactly sound like it. It's just that, even the Osaka dialect, sometimes it does coincide with standard Japanese.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like, you don't have to hide your accent. It's like, I'm not hiding my accent. I don't, what?
Mm.
It's like, fucking whatever it comes up with. Nandare! It's like, yeah, sure.
Now, what I did appreciate in the show quite a bit was, sometimes they would repeat jokes like anime does ad nausea. However, I did notice, and this is what I really liked about Azumanga Daioh, was they'd have a build to a joke. And a good example to this was with Sakaki and getting bit by stray cats. This one particular stray cat. And throughout the show, it built to finally her not getting bit by the cat and becoming friends with it.
Well, I mean, because of the stray cat from the Cat Island. But yeah, but again, it's kind of, I mean, she even had it in that fucking fever dream or whatever that was when Toa-san. It's just like, you want to pet cats, do you? Well, as you are right now, you don't have the power to pet.
Yeah, right. She has to train for it and shit.
You have to be qualified. And I love it, but I want real cat. So I'm not a real cat. I just gotta say, like, especially for a show like this, I love the fact, because Tosan is voiced by a veteran voice actor, Norio Wakamoto, and that man is hilarious as shit in his delivery. It is very often just deadpan like he is with Tosan, but it is so funny. He does so much weird shit. He has voiced a motherfucking motorcycle. And I'm not even joking.
What, speed buggy or some shit?
I don't remember. I haven't seen it. It's this other, like, I think it's like a 90s comedy or something, and it's like one of the delinquents gets on a motorcycle, and it's like you're expecting the motorcycle, but then it's just Norio Wakamoto.
90s delinquent on a motorcycle?
Yep.
Sounds like Great Teacher Onizuka.
It was not Great Teacher Onizuka.
Alrighty.
No, I mean, they are lucky repeating jokes. They made like good decisions. The mangaka, let's put that on his account. He did, or she, I don't know, but I'll call him. He did a good job with the jokes. He really does how to not only deliver the joke but also escalate the joke. Osaka being like absent-minded, and that like escalates so much until that scene where she the teacher Yukari wakes up in the middle of the night, and there's just Osaka with a knife.
Yes, that was my favorite joke in the show.
that's the joke escalating, right?
Yeah.
She starts just uh, absent-minded, and she just comes back with saying some nonsense, and then she escalates, and she's like standing with a knife, and the teacher's like, "The fuck are you doing here?" Is like, "Oh, you're awake. I'll try tomorrow."
I love it our choice support as well. It's just like, oh, I failed. Like failed once.
Failed what, Osaka? Yeah, and the blank stare and absent-minded look to her like makes her come off as psychotic. And I, as the viewer, I was kind of thinking that in the back of my head, because there's scenes earlier, like for example, Osaka would be in the middle of class and she's just kind of slowly turning her head back and forth, and you go, man, she looks psychotic in a way. So it played on to that joke later.
You have Sakaki with a cat, you have Tosan, you have Kagura and Sakaki little sketches they would do because Kagura is a dumbass. But like the only problem, like the only joke I really didn't appreciate was Koyomi being the straight man for Tomo. Every time it was just
yeah.
I mean, well, okay, but like one of the things that I'm very interested in when it comes to this one is, I mean, the anime is one thing, but like Hickey said, the way they build on jokes or something, it kind of makes me want to read the manga, because the manga is a four panel manga.
It's the same.
No, I know, but like it's how it. I want to see how it builds up over just 4 panels over time, rather than because like that's the problem. That's kind of the problem, especially adapting a 4-panel manga into an anime. Right, it becomes a bit odd because stuff has to kind of be stretched out a little bit, and it's got to fit into an episode, and you got to do multiple gags over time, and so
I can use the Osaka with a knife at night as an example. Like she gets the knife, and you have like 4. You have like this small punchline. The story is not like 4 commas or 4 comic squares, and then you have that punchline of her with the teacher at the end. I think it's like 3 or 4 strips, and you have those small punchlines, and you combine with the teacher waking, and like two squares of just blank stay. No, one square of blank staring, and then she just says, "Oh, I failed," and go away, and the teacher in the end is like, "Failed what?" Right? So like it's a big story comprised with small punchlines. And
yeah, no, I know that. That's not the point. The point I want to see is like how they build that in the manga over time. Because like as you said, it's a bunch of small gags ultimately. But that's where I say like where the anime not fails, but like where one of the problems with an anime adaptation of a 4 comma is the fact that like it has to, because like there are times when they can put in a tiny gag like that, but there are also times where they're going to have to stretch it out to fill an episode. You see that in a lot of the jokes. They take way more time than they ever would in a 4 comma manga. So that's kind of what I want to see, how that is handled in the manga as opposed to the anime.
So I have one more question here then. Do you think the art style was too basic, or was it simply a product of the early 2000s? We seem to ask this question for just about every anime that we review for the Retrocast, how it relates to its time.
It's very 2000.
It
is very 2000. Like very basic characters. The clothing is very basic. There's no cloth folding in the
right.
characters like clothing, right? It's just straight.
Yeah.
There's no ribs. There's
ginormous fucking eyes.
Yeah. When they move the arms, the sleeves don't really move that much. They just bend and things like that. It is very 2000. If you go back to and watch 2000 anime, especially those about comedy and 4 comma, those with low budget, they all look like that.
Yeah, it's not as kinetic as say Excel Saga, which we reviewed before. For sure.
No. You have way less frames than Excel Saga.
Yeah. I did think I personally thought it was a bit too basic for my own personal tastes, but again, it is like you said, Hickey. It's definitely in the early 2000s. So It was just
I mean, like,
what was going on at the time.
I mean, I'm still fine with, like, it's never gonna win any, like, fucking, you know, art
Right.
style awards or fucking.
It's not going to win anything like After the Rain.
Yeah, it's not. It's no place further than the universe, but it's like it's got its main. It's got its main.
It ranks more like a Devil May Cry baby. Like they're not right there.
I think you hurt Tori a little bit with that one.
We're gonna stop right there. Oh yeah, no, but like it's got like the focus of it lies elsewhere, and I'm fine with the way it looks. It's not terrible. It's just
I don't know. It definitely fits the anime. It's just a 4-comma, punchline. So you don't really need that much frames. You can do it just using keyframes, to be honest.
Should be animated on once. God. 24 frames a second. Come on.
Boy. Alrighty. It is a pretty dry comedy, so it's all about the characters and interactions mostly. I don't have much else to say about it, to be honest.
Eventually they all grow up, and that is a bit of a nice moment.
Yeah, sure. Goes on. I do like how there was a sense of time progression as well, and you even have them moving on a year in school, and yeah, it was nice.
Well, I mean,
2 years actually.
Also,
yeah, you're right, Tori.
Yeah. There's also like the recurrent joke with Chio because like she's a little kid. So she's like, high school is weird as fuck. Look at these people.
Yep. I like though, especially that whole like, her first graduation.
Her first grade? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's never graduated before. She skipped ahead.
That's right, and it's her last. Unless, well, college, but
she wasn't going to college. She was going overseas.
That's
America.
right. That's right. Yeah, she's basically starting over again, but in a different country. So, like, what's the point? But anyways, unless you guys have something to say, other than that, we can move on to some community comments and then give our scores.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start off with the community comments then. And if you want to do some community, that's my headphone. Oh, if you want to leave some community comments, head on over to the Twitter page of Red Leaf Retrocast or at BowlingJD. Day before we record, which is usually every other Saturday, you can find a pinned tweet referencing the episode, and you can like or retweet it, leave some comments, or join whatever Discord we're part of. You can easily find it by just contacting any of us, and you can join. So the first one is Ladybot today. Just simply says, yeah, it was good.
Short and sweet.
All right, why don't you read the next one, Tori?
Man, your sarcasm traveled through the internet and slapped me in the face.
The next comment is from Heavy Metal Leo. Says, Azumanga Daioh is fucking awesome. Yukari's driving is the funniest bit. Oh yeah, the Yukari mobile.
It's all beat up and dented everywhere. Yeah, it's funny.
Chio's just like, please, no, never again. It's not that she speeds. It's more that she doesn't understand how to fucking drive at all. She sometimes drives too fast, sometimes too slow. She doesn't care for anyone else's life or safety.
Alrighty. Icky? Read the next one.
Here you go. Mason. Unbearable. I think I watched 2 episodes before I couldn't stand it anymore. But since it had such a strong following, I kept pushing to give it a chance. But after the 5th episode, I realized it wasn't going to change and dropped it. Understandable. Like at the beginning, there's a lot of dry humor.
It's very dry and it's very slow.
Yeah, like at the beginning, I understand because when I started the show, the first time I watched it, I was like, I'm not getting the to end this show because out of 5, 6, 7 jokes, I was like in 1, 2. But then the jokes I liked were the one that escalated, right?
Yes.
So that's the best part of keeping with the show. You keep watching and keep watching. Those jokes you don't like, they start to disappear. Like again, the straight man
Hmm.
Koyomi does, and they get replaced with the escalation of the best jokes the show has to offer, and the variations, the slightly variations of the best jokes. But I understand the criticism of this show, and yeah, I can agree. If you cannot get past the dry humor, or if you don't like the jokes that are actually escalating to be the best jokes of the show, drop it. You won't like it.
Yeah, I don't disagree either. I'm with you. I'm with you with that recommendation, Hickey. Um, all right, Ira, I like it. I have it on DVD. Also have the omnibus, if of the manga, misspelling, which is also very good and better. Go. You know what? I will say, comment from the, you know, jokes not escalating or what have you. I found this anime very not bingeable. I had to kind of pick at it 2-3 episodes at a time max, because the jokes, you know, it wasn't flowing
it's
quite much.
Factors. The jokes are very dry from time to time. The characters, after a few episodes, they start to get into you and start to get angry with the characters. You start
Nah.
realizing like you're not enjoying that much because you had too much of Kagura being dumb, or Tomo being dumb, or Chiyo is screaming. Not even screaming, she just screeches because she's a little kid. You have Sakaki being animal lover, and that
Right.
doesn't add much to her character.
You
And
shut up.
Osaka just there.
Osaka is there. That's a fact.
So like, if you watch more like 4, 5, 6 episodes a day, you really gonna have a hard time. Even
Yeah.
I, who watches, I could watch that anime in 4 hours if I want to. It took me like 2, 3 weeks to finish. I watched it a little bit and then stopped. I gave a 2-day pause and came back to it.
Yeah. All right, so you're in the same boat as me. All right, Corey, next comment.
Next comment is from, wow, you write it with an M.
Oops.
Senpai Joe, former host of the podcast. I like Azumanga. The anime is a remarkably faithful adaptation of the manga. This has the consequence of it being very fishing and lacking a large story. My one true gripe is it was the trope codifier of the schoolgirl series for a shonen manga.
Yeah, Dengeki Daioh, I think,
Yep.
is what it was part of.
Yes. Yep. That's where the joke comes from.
Yeah.
Azumanga Daioh.
The last one is from
KNWLSY in the chat says, "What's up?"
the ceiling. No.
Oh my god. Face
Hey,
plant.
dry humor. Hey,
Dry
hey, we're
humor,
talking
yeah, I
about
guess so. I mean,
we're talking about Azumanga Daioh.
God, I
Don't
make those jokes.
disqualify
That's my job.
You
know
just
what?
stabbed me in the heart, okay?
That is actually
that's
true.
not okay.
That was a JD joke. Usually he's the one who does that kind of shitty joke.
Oh my
The last
god,
one.
you hurt me.
Yotaro Vegeta, watch it twice for science.
For science.
Usually you say the for science for like herons and ecchi, some hentai stuff, not for this kind of show. I don't know what kind of science were you making.
Okay, don't question the science.
Sure.
Oh, man.
I want for science. You watch this for science.
Don't question it. All right. Last community shoutouts. We got Costa, Heavy Metal Leo, Ira, Senpai. Not the same Joe Senpai, by the way. This is the Senpai. And all the boys and girls at Anime Radicals. So, now that we've gone through all that, I'm curious of everyone's score. Hickey, why don't you go first?
Sure. I watched it the first time a couple of months ago, or it was in 2017. I'm not sure. My 2018 was really weird, and I had a bunch of fever dreams with Tosan sometimes. That's why I don't know if it was in 2018 or later 2017 I watched it. But I gave it an 8. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
The jokes, like the escalation of the jokes are just too much for me. And I have a really shitty sense of humor. So yeah, an 8. Really good show.
Okay. Corey?
So for a long time, this show was kind of sitting at a 6 for me. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't anything special.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I think you said the jokes started ramping up. They started building on each other, started getting funnier, and then it also started getting a bit more heartfelt towards the end. And with graduation and whatnot happening, and I felt myself fairly satisfied with the try. Ended up giving it a 7.
7. Okay. Kind of with you there. Actually, I'm exactly with you, Tori. I thought it was a pretty average comedy. I thought it was overly dry at the start. I thought it was hard to get into. I wasn't totally into a lot of the characters. But sticking with the show, they did grow on me. The escalation of the jokes was very important for me enjoying the show to an extent. I could not binge it. I could not watch more than 2-3 episodes at a time. I thought it was just overly simplistic at times. It was a nice show. I don't think it did anything amazing, so a 7. Yeah. So 7.25, 7.33, whatever that amounts to. Between yeah. Make it a 7. Screw it. Round down. Cool.
I mean,
Once
my
again,
analyst has
I'm
a
right.
8.03 for Azumanga Daioh. I don't know the Anime Planet one.
Have it in front of me, actually.
You should look at it. You should look at how many people watched it and rank it like that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it has 215,056 members.
How many on Mal?
215,067.
Okay. On Anime Planet, 25,753 watched. And then another kind of 7 eyeballs on it. It has a 4.139 out of 5. So just over an 8. So the same score.
Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, cool. Alrighty. Well, that was Azumanga Daioh review and our 2018 Anime of the Year cast. Definitely want to shout out the Retro Twitch community over via Discord. You can find them at retrotwitch.com. A Twitter account has been made along with an Instagram. And you can join the Retro Twitch community. Very nice retro gaming, anything retro really you can get into. There's definitely a bunch of people in there that you could be a part of. We've definitely partnered up with them. You can find links to join the Discord. Best place I've found is the Twitter. That's at retrotwitch.com. RETROTWITCHCOM. And fun announcement is we have been invited, the Red Leaf Retrocast Anime Cast, to join the Anime Radicals Network. So looking forward to being a part of it. I've already been interviewed, quote unquote, for an episode. That's what it was. It was kind of like what we're gonna bring to it as being the retro anime people that we are. So look forward to us over on Anime Radicals podcast. Hit them up. They're also running a contest. Yeah, Yata.
I have a question.
What's up, Tori?
Did you get the job?
I got the job. We're in. But yeah, they're also running a contest. If you leave them a nice little review, you'll be in the running for, I believe it's a Right Stuff gift card. There's that. But don't forget to enter our ongoing contest for a couple Funko Pops, or you can just simply subscribe to us anywhere that our podcast is found. You'll be entered. Just send us a nice little screenshot that you're subscribed, and you can double enter for leaving us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. So, this has been Anime episode 41 of the Red Leaf Retrocast, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Hooray!
Ah, the smell of
We have
cooking
finished.
human flesh.
What? Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Hickey?
Who did you
I
murder?
don't understand. Who did you murder?
Who are you cooking?
What did you do, Hickey?
I assumed the worst immediately.
Oh, of course. Thank you for getting me in such high shape.
I hold you in such high regard. Oh my god.
I assume the worst. The lawyer killed someone.
Oh no. Let's see. Can WLSY says his day's been kind of shit, to be honest. Went to the doctor and they told me I have type 2 Duma. I don't know what Duma is.
Me neither.
Maybe diabetes? But that would that be insulting if I just assume he meant diabetes?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what Duma is. Yata says,
maybe?
welcome to the family, guys. And it was the Right Stuff gift card that I plugged.
Welcome to Family Guys. We're in Family Guys.
We're in Family Guy now. Yay! I am in Rhode Island, where it's based out of. So
Go to the drunken club.
I'll go to the Drunken Clam. That's my bowling alley every Friday night. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us in the Twitch chat. We had a good little turnout there today. A nice solid 6 people watching the whole time, it seemed.
Damn. 6 people.
Hey, we're Twitch affiliate. That's all you need.
Ooh, that's official.
It's official.
Damn. Fucking flash our badge.
And for those that are still here, we do have our next episode chosen already, along with like the 10 more. But we're doing the anime 70s Treasure Island. So there's a nice little
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek for what's
ahead.
ahead.
We forgot to put it in the podcast.
Nah, that's why you stick for the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And I believe
I
believe we're also doing our winter impressions in that same episode, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about Promised Neverland.
I can't wait to talk about openings.
I
Openings.
cannot wait to talk about broken Portuguese.
Broken Portuguese. Alright. Well, that's the end of the stream. Cutting it off.